think from from a NGT perspective, and this is a very, as I said earlier, undefined battlefield. It's very murky, it's very foggy, and it's a 24/7 engagement, and it's not going away. So from my perspective, we have to own our piece of, I guess, the battlefield, and our piece is our system, and we need to prosecute our defensive strategies, our capital that we have to put against this, our human resources. And we have to be very, very deliberate in the strategies and the technologies that we deploy across our system to protect our critical assets. So I think winning is taking ownership of your piece of this battle and doing it very, very well, and holding up your end of the spectrum, as maybe the Secretary referred to. This the electric sector is a very important sector to the economy. So are a number of other critical infrastructures, and everybody has to own their piece and do their job with the support we can gain from the federal government.
But I'm going to be a little contrarian, I guess, and be philosophical as well, and say that, and I think I have Howard Schmidt's back by saying that this is not a cyber war. And I think we have to be really careful about using the terminology war with regard to cyberspace, cyber conflict, whatever we may characterize it at. I think John did a great job of characterizing it as criminal activity and fraud and those kinds of things that we know how to react to. We have tools for response, for mitigation, for collaboration. And right now, I think we don't have that for something called cyber war. Part of the effort of the administration in its release of its international cyberspace policy last year was the development of norms for behavior in cyberspace. And I think that's the first step to even thinking about what might be a doctrine of war or a military type doctrine for cyberspace. So I guess when what global action and what compels us as a country to possibly respond. So I think it's dangerous in that sense, and if we think of it only about war, then we miss the mark, as John pointed out.
I'll use the moderator's prerogative and say there are elements of what has been put forth that comprise how do you win. But there's also a couple other pieces, which is there's the urgency component to it. It has to do with this recognition of a vital threat to national and economic security. What people don't appreciate on the advanced persistent threat spectrum is that it is an unprecedented period of state-sponsored espionage against our nation and our allies. But it's not just state-sponsored espionage by potential adversaries. The Department of Defense has said there are over 100 foreign intelligence agencies seeking to penetrate the DoD network on a regular basis. So I wasn't that good at math, but I probably could use one hand to count all potential adversaries in the United States. What that means is we have a family and friends problem as well. And so we need to understand that as we're coming up with an approach to deal with this. The second part of it is, what is our objective? Our objective is not to stop attack. You can't stop attack. It is always going to happen. What you can do is two things. One, you can create resiliency inside your networks so that the objective of the attacker is defeated. The networks continue to operate, they continue to provide services and capabilities to owners, operators, and citizens, and they are resilient in the face of this advanced, persistent, and targeted threat. And then the third thing is, it is about the people, yet again. If you do not have properly trained people, you are always going to be vulnerable. So the totality of all these pieces together constitutes a strategy for how to win. But like the old phrase, it's not the destination, it's the journey. This is a non-stop and never-ending journey that we're on right now.